Welcome to the International Climate Webinar Series Industry Blitz. We have a quick 10-minute session ahead, focusing on the intersection of climate finance and the European energy scene. Joining us today is a true expert in the field, Jorgo Chatzimarkakis. As the CEO of Hydrogen Europe, he's at the forefront of the hydrogen economy, a crucial part of the future of clean energy. His experience is extensive, ranging from his time as a member of the European Parliament, where he influenced climate and energy policies, to his current role, where he is advancing hydrogen technologies. Jorgo, thank you for joining us. We are eager to hear your thought on how Europe is managing the financial risk and opportunities of the energy transition. Ready, let's begin. Which industry will lead the hydrogen shift in Europe from your vision and perspective?
In our perspective, it will be off-takers, industrial off-takers, and mainly it will be steel and chemicals. They are hard to abate sectors, and they are not just decarbonizing, they are anchoring also resilience in Europe's backbone, because Europe needs to become more resilient geopolitically.
What is Europe's biggest challenge to producing enough green hydrogen by 2030 for now?
The biggest challenge is to overcome the chicken and egg dilemma. That's because Europe always wants to discuss a lot and regulate a lot. And in the end, it's very, very simple. If you really want to have hydrogen production, you need to bring the off-takers to the producers. And that's the biggest dilemma. Other regions of the world, honestly, are faster in doing that with different methods. Europe needs to scale up that offtake and to accelerate chicken and egg dilemma overcoming.
Going back to the industries, how we can make green hydrogen cheaper for heavy industries, like you say, steel?
For the hydrogen sector, there are no other rules physically and economically than for other sectors. It's all about scale. So once you have more scale of production and of demand, the price will definitely go down. And this is why we need to spur this scale. How to do it? With targets. We have clear energy and climate targets, but we get more and more resilience targets. Europe sees that its own resilience needs more support, not only the defense industry, but also the autarky, the autonomy in producing energy. And this creates small steps and then scale that brings the price down definitely. Our target is, and that is only possible by bringing the production and 30. We will have a rough amount of green hydrogen being produced, but the real aim is to achieve €3 per kilo by 2035 and 80% of European energy being produced in Europe based also on hydrogen.
Let's come back to the European regulation. What is key to securing private funding for large scale, like you said, hydrogen projects?
First of all, it's the commitment. We have a lot of regulation. If nobody implements the regulation, it does not really lead to more offtake, which does not lead to more production. I think in the end, it's the commitment of partners. You can say Resilience Alliance or Offtake Alliance, but it is that commitment, nothing else.
The commitment is important, but also the advancement of technology as well. What is the new technology you see now that can be promising for hydrogen innovation?
Everything in the hydrogen sector is still new because it's a nascent sector. But if you want to talk to me about the hottest new development, I think it's solid oxide electrolyzers. They are hot because the temperature is higher. By that, they are more efficient. And they are perfect for Europe's push to resilient energy clusters. This is how Europe can produce its own fuel from renewables that then will be used not only in defense, but also in the civilian world.
Let's talk a little bit more about the problem of the chicken and egg situation here. What is, in your opinion, from what on the field, the best solution needed to resolve this problem between the production and the demand and the regulation in the same time? What is something that can unlock the power of hydrogen?
Honestly, it's always best to have mandates. So if you need to use in the chemical industry a certain amount of green hydrogen, for instance, in the fertilizer production, instead of gray, a mandate would help big time, because that makes banks understand, there's an obligation, there's a duty, so there's a business case. But these mandates need to be implemented. Other than mandates, we also have now a driving element with the defense industry becoming more resilient, becoming more autonomous, also endowed with money, has the power to help to overcome this chicken and egg dilemma.
Oh, interesting. Then, if there is no mandate, for you, who is harder to convince about hydrogen advantages, politicians or fossil fuel companies?
Definitely, the politicians are the harder cooking. Myself, I have been politician in the past. You are exposed to a lot of regulatory demands, regulatory questions. And this is why sometimes you cannot dive deeper into what is really needed. The fuel producers, so far in the past, the fossil fuel producers, easier to convince, because they know if they turn their product from dirty fossil into clean, be it green hydrogen or clean hydrogen, it's a business case for the future. They know that it's in their interest.
Oh, thank you. Nice to know this information. Let me go to another sector. How will carbon pricing can make hydrogen more affordable? There is a relation here, or you don't see any impact from carbon pricing market on hydrogen?
So carbon pricing is basically the key if you implement it coherently and correctly. So it flips the simple logic. Dirty fuels get fragile because they become much more expensive, and clean fuels, green hydrogen, gets much cheaper in relation to that. So if we implement it clearly, and again, I say coherently, it will work, and it makes hydrogen very resilient. But we know that some policymakers refrain from this coherence. Let's push it, and then we are getting there.
Thank you. Let's try to move on to a more light and funny note. If the hydrogen economy needs a mascot, what will be the mascot and what is the catchphrase you imagine for that?
You have heard that next to sustainability and climate issues, the issue of resilience becomes very important, especially in the European perspective. So that's why my mascot would be a hydrogen knight in shining armor, and his catchphrase would be defending Europe molecule by molecule.
Wow, great. I didn't expect it, but it's a good one. What is the most surprising future hydrogen product you are seeing in the upcoming 5 years? This is the last question. You finish with 1 or 2 words. What surprising is coming right now from the hydrogen?
Hydrogen drones, in order to make yourself absolutely resilient, and they can fly long and they can fly clean.
Thank you, Jorgo, for your time. Thank you for your insight. And we are looking forward to your insight to be included in one of our upcoming events and series.